This is breaking news. If Mississippi State wins this game, do they get into the playoffs? Michigan's at 21. We are back. Week 11. We got a preview. We got the playoff rankings from Tuesday that we're going to go over. We also are going to update our Heisman race. We're going to announce a new segment at the end of the show. And then we have a huge announcement right now. Huge announcement. This is breaking news, okay? We have a co-host. We got him. Okay. They're not going to be in the show today. Maybe Sunday. We'll see. But if not Sunday, most likely for the Week 12 preview of next week, they should be involved in. But his name is Shep. We go way back. We've been friends for a long time. Pretty much grew up together. He's going to take the lead on basketball for college there. Why still do college football here? But we're both still going to be involved in both sports. It's just he knows more about basketball than me. I know more about football than him. But you guys should be really excited. He's working really hard behind the scenes there for the basketball side of things. He's going to put out a lot of good content for you guys. He's also going to do a little bit of the social media side of it too. But enough with that. We're over that. He's not that important, okay? You guys still listen to this show and watch it because of me, okay? Let's get that straight. So let's just go ahead with underdogs here. We got Auburn at 15 ranked Vandy. We got Wake Forest at number 12 Virginia, and then Georgia number 5 there. They're going to Mississippi State. Some 3 quality games here. I think they're all underdog games. I think they fit it perfectly. So let's just start with Wake Forest at Virginia. I know you guys are probably like, wow, this is going to be a very boring game. And it could be. But it's an important game behind the scenes if you're paying attention to what the ACC conference is looking like right now. So Virginia's leading it, undefeated in the conference. Then you got Georgia Tech 5-1. You got Pitt 5-1. You got Louisville 4-1. You got SMU 4-1, and you got Duke 4-1. Okay, so Wake Forest, they have the opportunity to completely shake up this entire conference. I mean, just completely wreck it into oblivion. And then it's important for Virginia to not let that happen. Virginia, they should win this game, and I think they will win this game. They just have to keep stacking wins, okay? Keep stacking wins. It's a 7 p.m. Kickoff at Scott Stadium there. Weather's looking clear. I think it had tempo like 57 or 60 around kickoff. So weather's good. And Virginia, they just got to take care of business. I mean, Force isn't, dangerous, but any team can be dangerous if you're not locked in mentally and ready to play the game of football. Winner picks for this, I think I'm not even going to look at my phone. I mean, if Shep took Wake Forest, then that's on him. But he shouldn't have. So we're going to say he's going Virginia, and I am also going Virginia for this one. We'll go up to Auburn at Vandy here. This is a bounce back game for Vandy. 4 p.m. kickoff at First Bank Stadium there in Nashville. Weather's going to be around 70 and clear skies. Game lines. Where's this game at? Spread is minus 6.5 for Vanderbilt. The total is at 45.5. And then money line Auburn is going off at plus 195. And I forgot the game lines for Wake Forest and Virginia. So real quick, spread minus 7 for Virginia. Over under 47.5, and then money line Wake Forest going off at 205. Okay, back to SEC here. So yeah, game lines there. Just like Virginia here. Vandy, they just need to take care of business here. Okay, this don't get too cute, and Vandy doesn't. They don't ever get too cute. So I expect Vandy to take care of business here. But this is a new look Auburn team. They just fired their coach. We've already talked about that interim head coach bump. DJ Durkin, I believe, who's the defense coordinator, he's taken over as the interim head coach. You never know. Like the defense isn't going to have any new tendencies because it's still DJ Durkin, but the offense is going to be new here, new tendencies and everything. But they still don't have a quarterback. Do you play Jackson Arnold or do you play I'm blanking on the name. Let me get it up real quick. What's his name? Ashton Daniels. I'm pretty sure. Let me look. Yep, Ashton Daniels. Who do you play? I think whoever you play, you're not looking too good. But you never know. You never know. I mean, it's a completely new look. So Auburn could come out and they could be just firing on all cylinders, and they could punch Vandy right in the mouth here. You never know about this stuff. But winner picks here. Me and Shep are both going to be going Vandy. I think that's a no-brainer. It's at Vandy. It's a good bounce back game for Vandy. Get them right after they just took a loss last week to Texas there. Georgia at Mississippi State. I really do think this is a trap game for Georgia. Let's look at the game lines. It was 8.5. It's moved. It's at 9.5 spread in favor of Georgia there. The total's sitting at 56.5. And then money line Mississippi State is plus 275. For Georgia here, it's nothing crazy at all. Kirby Smart, they're not going to lose this game at all. And if they got to apply pressure early, and Mississippi State, for them to win this game, they got to get the crowd involved there with the cowbells. It's got to. This is at Davis Wade Stadium in Mississippi State. Weather checks out, all good there, nothing to worry about. But Mississippi State, they're going to have to outcoach Kirby to win this game, and I just don't see anybody out coaching Kirby, especially Mississippi State at Jeff Lebby. I don't think they out coach Kirby to win this game, and I think that's what it's going to have to take for them to really win this game. And I think all Georgia has to do is just throw a fastball right down the middle, apply pressure early if you're UGA, take the crowd out of the game, and just coast to a win. Not, maybe coast isn't the right word, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. But I mean, this is a potential program building win if you're Mississippi State. You lost one to Texas early in the year that could have been a program building win. You lost it, and you had that game in the bag. You really did. You should have won that game, and you lost it. But you get a new opportunity here, okay? And if Georgia did lose this game, season's over. You're done if you lose to Mississippi State here. But I'm going Georgia here. Let me look at what Shep has. Where's he at? Shep's going Mississippi State here. Oh, goodness. This should be good. Can't wait for the recap Sunday. All right, well, we're going to have to if Mississippi State wins this game, we're going to have to buy Shep one of those Mississippi State cowbells as a present for him. But that's all we got for the underdogs. We'll go up to the heavy hitters, and we'll take a little DDP break here. DDP is Diet Dr. Pepper. DP is Diet Pepsi. DC is Diet Coke. CZ is Coke Zero. You guys got to remember all that. That's good stuff, okay? Diet Pop is way better than regular pop. You can argue a wall if you disagree, okay? All right, moving on here. This is a college football show, and we're talking about Diet Pop here. We got to get it right here. Do we want to do? I think we should save game of the week. Just save it. We'll do number 3, A&M at 19, Missouri. Guys, this game is making my head want to explode. I'm going back and forth on it, on who's going to win. I'm still doing it in my head. I don't know. I really do not know. But Missouri's playoff hopes, they're on the line here. They're on the line. You're at your final stand here, okay? Final stand. It's a 3:30 kickoff at Memorial Stadium. Weather's clear, 62. Game lines for this one, let's see. You got Texas A&M -7, the total at 48.5, and then moneyline Missouri plus 220. Missouri offense here. Before we start here, that injury the quarterback took a couple weeks ago, Bo, it actually turned out not to be as bad as everybody thought. It looked horrific. He doesn't have a broken leg. I'm pretty sure it's just a high ankle sprain there. He's not playing in this game, but he could come back this year. You never know. But Missouri offense here, yards per game, they're top 15. They're sitting at 14th in the country, getting around 470 yards a game. Within that, rushing, they're getting 235. That's 10th in the country. And then points per game, they're sitting at 35. That is 24th in the country. Their defense, up 242 yards per game. That's 5th in the country. Passing 155, that's seventh, and then rushing is 86, that is 11th. And then their points per game on defense also is 13th, letting up 16 points per game. That defense, I think that defense is going to be the best defense Texas A&M has played so far, I think. But moving on here, the A&M offense, yards per game, 459 yards a game. That's 19th in the country. 200 rushing yards a game. That is 23rd. Scoring is 37, sitting at 11th. So you got 37 points per game there compared to Missouri's 35. Nothing big there. Nothing big differential wise. The defense for A&M, it's all like those main categories of yards, scoring, points per game, passing, rushing. They're outside top 30 and all of that stuff. I think one might be 31 or 32. Can't fully remember. But I thought that was actually pretty shocking because I would have thought that their defense would have been pretty high in one of those categories, but I guess not. Key factors here. We got down money down. If you don't know money down, it's just third down. We just like to use the term money down. It's just football slang pretty much. But money down, the Missouri defense is 5th in the country. A&M is 1st. That's pretty impressive on both ends there. And that's why I was thinking that the A&M defense would have, stat-wise, they would have been higher up. A&M defense, they got to stop the run. Missouri, they're very notorious for the wide zone stretch with Ahmad Hardy there, one of the best running backs in the country. So you just got to go in there, stop the run, make the quarterback beat you, the backup there. What is his name again? I forget. It is Matt Zollers. He's a freshman, okay? Make him beat you, and if he does, tip your hat to him. But other than that, walk in there, stop the run, walk out of there with one. I think it's that simple. And if you're A&M on offense, you got to get the ball to your playmakers there. Get it to that wide receiver duo that is one of the best in the country. They're Mario Craver and KC Concepcion. Get the ball to them. Let them make plays, okay, and you'll be fine. You will be fine. For Missouri to win this game, I think they really got to keep that A&M offense off the field. So you got to dominate the time of possession there. And that defensive line for Missouri, they got to show up and they got to shut down the A&M offense. They're both coming off bye weeks, okay? So they both should be relatively, healthy and fresh, ready to go. That Missouri defensive line, I mean, it's one of the best in the country. It really is, and I think it's a really underrated group. I don't really think they get talked about enough. Players to watch out for in this game, we've already mentioned him, Ahmad Hardy. Let's pull up his stats real quick. He's got 159 carries, 937 yards, 11 touchdowns. He's averaging about 5.9 yards per carry. And then we talked about the defensive line. Zion Young is going to be playing on Sundays, 100%. He's a senior. He's 6'5", 262 here. He's got 5 sacks, 25 total tackles. He's got 2 pass deflections. So he can get us. You got to watch out for him on that D-line, getting his hands up in the air, batting balls down. He's also forced 2 fumbles. Another guy on that D-line there is Damon Wilson II. He's a junior, 6'4". He's got 6.5 sacks. So that Missouri defensive line. They got to get after Marcel Reed there and try to disrupt things. On the other side, A&M, you guys should know him by now. It's Marcel Reed. We like to give the comparison of Jaden Daniels. A lot of people in the media are saying that, and if you just watch him play, you'd understand it. Okay, because he just looks like him. He really does. He just looks like him. Stats wise for him, 1,972 yards, 19 touchdowns to 6 picks. His completion percentage sitting at 61%, and he's 132 of 223 there. He's in the Heisman talk. He's a great player, but it's been proven that he'll give you the ball. All right, he'll give you the ball sometimes. So if he does, you got to take advantage of it. But you also have to watch out for his legs. Okay, he's had 64 carries for 349 yards and 6 touchdowns. A lot of those carries are just scrambling from the pocket. He's dangerous with his legs. You got to put a spy on him, or twist, stunt up front, get to him. You want to keep your pass rushing lanes. You don't want to fly upfield and just give them right up the middle. You got to be careful of that if you're Missouri there. But D line here for Texas A&M, his name is Cassius Hell. He's another guy that'll be in the NFL here. What year is he? He's also a senior. 6'2" there. He's got 9.5 sacks. That's definitely up there in the country, 100%. He plays with his hands very good. He's got 3 batted balls down, 16 total tackles. He's an absolute threat coming off the edge there, and we'll see how that Missouri offensive line does with him. I'm not really sure. They're going to have to figure something out. Maybe keep it tight end, chip him off the snap, keep it running back in, chip him. We'll see what happens with that. But winner picks here. Shep's rolling with A&M, and this is where I've been battling with myself, because I really do think that this is the best team A&M will have played so far. And I know they've played Notre Dame. And I know Missouri's missing their quarterback. And I'm still fighting with it. I'm going to go, I don't know. Oh, my gosh. Just for the fun of it, we're going to go Missouri, okay? We're taking Missouri to win this game, okay? So Shep's got A&M. I got Missouri. We'll revisit this Sunday. See what happens with it. Should be a good game, though. Guys definitely need to tune into it, okay? Let's move on to number 6, Oregon at Iowa, and we're going to take another break here. We got to keep up with that, or our voice is going to crack. We've had a lot of voice cracks in the past episodes, and I can already feel them come. I should have did a voice exercise before doing this, but no. Statement game from Oregon here. A lot of people are down on Oregon, and I'll raise my hand to that. I don't think I'm as down as a lot of other people are, but I'm teetering on that, on the line there. I don't know. I don't know if they're for real or not. They don't look that good, but this is a statement game. 3:30 kickoff at Kinnick Stadium, if I'm pronouncing that right. Weather's going to be sitting around 62 degrees and clear skies there. We'll check out the game line. You got Oregon -6.5, the total at 42.5, and then moneyline Iowa is sitting at +205 right now. It's interesting. It's very interesting, actually. Stats here. The Iowa defense. If you watch football, I think everybody should know about the Iowa defense, or just Iowa in general. They've always had a strong defense here. So 234 yards a game, that's second. Passing 151 yards a game, that's fifth. Rushing is sitting around 83 yards a game, that's 10th. And then points per game is fourth there at 13. So like I said before, if you know Iowa, you should know that they never have an offense. They just go out there, they run 3 plays on offense, and then they punt the ball back and they play field position. That's always been Iowa. That's their bread and butter, and somehow it works. I mean, it doesn't work in terms of winning national championship or making the playoffs or even making the Big Ten championship, but they're always in the talks for the Big Ten, we'll say. But moving on to Oregon here on offense, stat wise, you got 483 yards a game. That's 9th in the country. Rushing is 237. That is also 9th in the country. And then points per game is 5th, around 41 points a game there. Their defense, they have a very, very strong defense. 239 yards a game, that is 4th. Passing 124 yards a game, that is 1st. And then rushing is 114 yards a game. That's just outside of the top 30 at 31st there. That's still strong, though. Okay, still strong. And then points per game, 13, and that is 6th in the country. Factors that we got down for this game here. We got money down, of course. The defense for Oregon is 10th, led at about 30%. And then the turnover margin, they're both sitting at +5 for the turnover margin. Another thing about Iowa is they are a very disciplined team every year. In fact, this year they are the least penalized team in the entire country, letting up about 22 yards per game off penalties. Oregon, on the other side, is 21st in the country, letting about 40 yards per game. That's still good for Oregon. It's just Iowa is way better in that department of it. Iowa's got to take advantage here in the red zone here. I know their offense is very dull, but if they do get that ball in the red zone, you've got to capitalize off that because Oregon has the worst red zone defense according to stats here on the NCAA website. The Oregon defense is 135th, allowing 100% on trips. That's I feel like you got to try to do that. How do you let 100%? That's crazy. But Iowa offensively, they're 10th in the country, scoring on 94%. So that's going to be a good matchup there in the red zone. And that's one of the questions about Oregon as their team is, how's the red zone defense? Because a lot of these, great teams that make these deep runs into the playoffs is, they'll let up yards and all that, but in the red zone, their defense, it's bend, don't break, force field goals, don't let touchdowns happen. And Oregon does not have that on defense right now. And that's surprising considering Dan Lanning's the head coach and he's a defensive guy. And he's from that Nick Saban, Kirby Smart coaching tree there. That's shocking to me. It really is. But it's still Oregon. And on offense, they have the better skill players. So these skill guys for Oregon, they're going to have to make plays. They're playmakers. They're capable of doing it. They've got to make plays and win this game for them. And it's really just going to be Oregon's offense versus Iowa's defense. So it's up to Oregon. Dante Moore, I'm pretty sure that's his name. I think I'm just second guessing myself. That's definitely his name. Dante Moore there. He's going to have to make plays, and he's got to go in and win this game for them because Oregon really needs it. And Iowa, on the flip side here, if they get it to the fourth quarter, you got a real good chance of winning this game. Get to the fourth quarter, you lean on the crowd atmosphere, and you really lean on the defense. You really hope the defense makes plays. Hey, maybe special teams for Iowa wins this game. You never know. It could happen. There's 3 phases of the game. A lot of people forget that. It's not just offense and defense. Special teams is probably the most important part. There's a good argument for it. Don't overthink it if you're Oregon. We got that written down. I know Iowa, record-wise, they are 7-2. 6-2, and they've looked good so far. They really have. You had an early season loss to Iowa State, and that's looking even worse now considering where Iowa State is right now. You lose to Indiana. You're the closest team to play Indiana, though. You lost 20-15. You turn around, you shut out Wisconsin, and you put up 37 points. Then you beat Penn State, and then last week you beat Minnesota very convincingly. So they've got some momentum going here, and they're at home. And Oregon, their past couple games, see they lost to Indiana at home there, 30-20. They beat Rutgers and they beat Wisconsin last week, and they didn't look good last week against Wisconsin at all. They really didn't. So like I said, it's a statement game here. But some players to watch out here is you got Dante Moore, the quarterback for Oregon. He is thrown for 1,772 yards, 19 touchdowns to 4 picks. He is 145 of 203, completion percentage sitting around 71%, and he's been sacked 9 times here. But don't get it twisted. This dude is a real threat, and I think he's going to be a superstar. I really do. He's a very good quarterback. He's just a sophomore, so he's still learning. He's got 40 carries for 131 yards. No touchdowns on the ground, though. And like I said, a lot of those carries are going to be from scrambling yards. Other guy here is Decorian Moore, true freshman. Yeah, he's a true freshman. True freshman, 5-star wide receiver for Oregon. This guy is a problem. Okay. Now, stat-wise, I know it's not that attractive here. 28 catches, 443 yards, and 3 touchdowns. But look at this average. Well, you guys can't look at it, but listen to this average. Okay. 15 yards per catch. Okay. That's very impressive, and a lot of that is also scheme wise too. He's a superstar, and he's one of those guys that he can take advantage of the one-on-one matchup, and he can win off the line. For Iowa, we're just going to say the quarterback, Mark Gronkowski. I don't know if he's related to Gronk, but he is 107 for 165, 146 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 picks, and he's been sacked 11 times, but he's carried the ball 76 yards, 313 yards, and he's got 11 touchdowns on the ground. So, watch out for him. Working defense. But winner picks here. I'm going Oregon. Shep is going. Shep's going Iowa. My goodness, this is going to be funny. That's going to be good. Okay, so he's got Iowa. I got Oregon. See what happens with it. Moving on, we got LSU at number 4 Bama. This is a big time rivalry game. 7:30. It's going to be under the lights there at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Weather's going to be sitting around 70. Clear skies. Game lines. Let's look. Spread sitting -10 straight up for Bama. Totals at 49.5, and then money line LSU is plus 295. Stats here for the Bama offense here. You're getting 410 yards per game. That's 50th in the country, so nothing eye-popping there. You're passing the ball 291 yards per game. That's 15th in the country. That's good. And then points per game, you're getting up 34. That's 30th in the country. Defense is 24th in the country, letting up 312 yards per game. Passing is 163. That's 12th in the country. And then 18 points per game there. That is 20th in the country. So the defense definitely is more eye-popping stats-wise than the offense. The LSU offense, passing yards a game, they're getting up around 249. That's 50th in the country. And then they're putting up about 25 points per game. That's 84th in the country. The LSU defense here, they are 35th in the country, letting up around 325 yards per game. Passing 191 yards per game. That's 31st. And then they're letting up about 18 points per game. That is 22nd there. Key factors for this game here. We got the turnover margin for Bama. That is +9. That is 8th in the country. And then we have a red zone matchup here in this game. You got the LSU red zone offense, which is 82nd in the country, getting up around 82% versus the Bama red zone defense, which is 8th in the country, sitting around 70%. That's going to be a very, very important matchup this game. We'll see what happens with it. Moving on here, the run game for both teams is horrendous. It is very, very bad. I will say, though, Alabama, they find a way to get productive and successful runs when it matters the most. Like as in terms of like critical plays, when they need the run, they get it. So they have that going for them. But at the same time, you're kind of turning into a one-dimensional team here with the passing, and defenses are late in the year playoffs. They're going to hone into that, and it's not. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think you can win a national championship being one-dimensional. I could be wrong though, but I think you really you need to find a balance here. Once you get the run game, it'll set up the play action even more. The LSU defensive line, they've got to take advantage of the inconsistency of the Alabama offensive line. The offensive line for Alabama, they'll let up free rushers. Okay, which what was looking like was supposed to be the best part of that Alabama offense, or one of the best parts. It's the worst part right now, and you can take advantage of that if you're the defense there. Ryan Grubb, the offense coordinator for Bama, he's got to have a good game call here, because LSU, they fired Brian Kelly right before their bye week. Interim coach is in. He's an LSU guy. Everybody loves him down there. The players love him. And this is going to be, this is LSU Super Bowl, okay? They're going to come in to Bryant-Denny Stadium with everything they got. They're going to pop you right in the mouth, chin straps completely buckled, and they're throwing an uppercut as soon as kickoff starts. And Alabama has got to be ready for it, and if they're not, they're going to lose this game. Players to watch out here, of course, we have Ty Simpson, quarterback from Bama. We'll pull up his stats. He's thrown for 2,184 yards. His completion percentage is sitting around 67%. 20 touchdowns to 1 pick, and he's been sacked 14 times. 177 of 261. Another player to watch out for Bama, of course, is Jeremy Bernard. Receiving wise, he leads the team in catches and yards. He's got 38 catches for 526 yards and 6 touchdowns. Average per catch there sitting around 13. And then he also carries the ball. He's got 15 carries for 94 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 6.3 yards a carry there. He's a very dynamic player. Think like a Deebo Samuel. I think that's the best way to describe him. He's very dangerous in critical crunch time plays. I think you can pretty much bet all your money that he's going to be getting the ball there. Okay, man, we're voice cracking very bad here. We need to take a sip. There we go. Down the hatch. Players to watch out for LSU. You got Garrett Nussmeier. We'll see if he plays the whole game. He might not. It's just been, it's a disappointing year for LSU. Garrett Nussmeier coming into the year, he's looked at as one of those guys who are up there in the Heisman race, possibly one of the, earlier QBs to get taken off the draft board. Just hasn't worked out at LSU. Pretty sure he's been battling with some injury stuff. So hopefully he can get that figure out before he goes to the NFL, because he could be, a productive player in the NFL. But he's thrown for around 1,800 yards, 12 touchdowns to 5 picks. He's also been sacked 14 times. He's 176, 267. Doesn't make any plays with his legs. His legs are completely non-existent. So the D-line for Bama, which has, they've grown each game and game and game, and they're getting better. They 100% can take advantage of the LSU offensive line. The LSU offensive line is a lot worse than the Alabama offensive line. Don't get me wrong. So if you get to him, you got a good chance to bring him down, because it's not like he's running away or anything. Another player for them is the defensive back there, A.J. Halsey, if I'm pronouncing that right. He leads the team in total tackles. He's got 2 picks, 3 pass deflections, and he's also got a forced fumble there. He's a very dynamic player for them. Moving on, but winner picks here, I'm going with Alabama. That's my team. I'm always going to end up picking them. Shep is also going to roll with the Tide. So we get a good old roll Tide from Shep. So that's always nice to hear. Let's move up to our game of the week. Is in the Big 12 again. We got number 8 BYU going to number 9 Texas Tech. This is fight for number 1 in the Big 12 here. This is a noon kickoff at Lubbock. I think that's how you pronounce it. Lubbock, Texas there. Weather's going to be clear and 68 degrees there. Game line here. Let's check it out. Flip to it. Wow. Listen to this. You got spread here is minus 10.5 for Texas Tech. Total sitting at 51.5, and then moneyline BYU is plus 310. Wow, minus 10.5. A noon game? I mean, I would kind of understand that if it was a night game, but it's noon. Interesting. Okay. Well, stats here for Texas Tech here on offense. You're 5th in the country in yards per game, sitting at around 492 yards. And then points per game is 43. That is 3rd in the country. Top 30 in passing and rushing. So all around, very good offense in all those departments there for them. The defense for them is 10th in the country in yards per game. That's 271 yards per game. Rushing is 74 yards per game. That is actually 1st in the country. And then points per game is 5th, sitting at giving up around 13 points per country. Take another water break here. We're also going to pop a stick of gum here. Yards per game, they are 34th in the country, so they're top 35, not top 30. Top 35, 433 yards per game. Points per game on offense, they're getting around 36. That is 19th in the country. And then passing is 15th, getting at 216 yards per game. The defense is 27th in the country. They're letting up about 318 yards per game. Passing, they're 28th in the country. Letting up 188 yards per game, and then points per game is 17. That is 16th in the country. What we got down here for key facts for this game. Money down is a common theme for every game, in my opinion. So money down is always usually going to be in here. So money down defense for Texas Tech is 18th in the country at 31.9%. And then trust me, that 0.9 is important here, okay? Because money down defense for BYU is 16th in the country at 31.7. Like I said, it's important, okay? Turnover margin for Texas Tech is 10th in the country at +8, and then BYU is 5th at +10. The run game here, you got Texas Tech's run defense, which is 1st in the country, like we said, versus BYU, which we didn't even look at because it's not impressive at all. So if you're BYU, how much of the run game do you dive into? Do you give it a good, decent shot at trying to run the ball against them, or do you just, rely on your air attack? I don't know. I you should never abandon the run game at all. If anything, I think BYU, if they can scheme it up right, I think they could get some explosive plays off the play action. But at the end of the day, your air attack is your strong suit here. So we'll see what BYU's air attack versus is. So we'll see what BYU's air attack versus that Texas Tech Delta Bravo group looks like here. Delta Bravo, that's another slang, just like money down. Delta Bravo just stands for DBs. That's going to be a common slang for us here. And then Texas Tech quarterback health. They lost not their starting quarterback, but the backup who's played in multiple games. He's more of a threat with his legs. They lost him for the year. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I believe he's gone for the year. But the starters, he's still very good. But he's been banged up. So you got to be able to stay healthy. If you're BYU and you're able to take advantage of the inconsistency of the health at the quarterback position, you're probably going to win this game. Players to watch out here is the quarterback for Texas Tech, Baron Morton. Let's pull up his stats. He is 125 and 184, thrown for 1,750 yards, 15 touchdowns to 4 picks. Completion percentage is sitting around 67 yards. He'll gut you for sure. He'll gut you through the air with his arm for sure. Legs are not a factor at all. At all. Another guy for them is the linebacker, Jacob Rodriguez. He leads the team in tackles, 74. He's got 5 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, and let me look. Scroll. He's got 7 forced fumbles. 7 forced fumbles. Wow. He's also got 2 picks. I don't know if I mentioned that. He's a game changer for them. Moving on to BYU. Backemeyer. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I'm wrong. Is he a freshman? I think he's a freshman. Let me look. He might be a redshirt freshman. Never tells you about. They got freshman down, but I think he's a redshirt freshman. He's 126 of 201 for 1,693 yards, 11 touchdowns to 3 picks. He's been sacked 9 times, though. Completion percentage is 62%. He's very deadly with his legs, though, and they will run him. 94 carries for 408 yards and 9 touchdowns, getting about 4 yards per carry. So he's a very dynamic quarterback. This will be a very great game to watch, especially in the noon slate. I mean, just starting it off there. College game day is there. I'm pretty sure. I looked on today, and you got students who are already camping out for college game day, which is insane. But winner picks for this game, I'm going with Texas Tech here. Shep is also going to roll with Texas Tech. So that is it for heavy hitters, underdogs, those games. Let's scroll down here. Locks only here. This is one of the things Shep is going to be involved in. I have Northwestern plus 14. If you can move it to plus 14.5 at USC there. And then I also have Stanford plus 7.5 versus UNC. Shep has Indiana minus 14.5. That's going off there at minus 112. Indiana plays Penn State, I believe. Yep. They play Penn State at Penn State. This is a noon game. And then our war room. So this is going to pretty much be it's like a pick'em thing, but I'm going to include the odds in case you guys want to bet them. But it's a 1v1 against me and Shep here. And then we'll figure out at the end of the year what the loser has to do there. And you can do up to 2 picks. At some point here, I think you can involve college basketball picks also if you want. But we're both rolling with football this week. I've got Florida State money line. That's sitting at plus 110. And I also have Mississippi State to cover plus. Did I put this down wrong? I have plus 8.5. I thought it was 9.5. It's 9.5 now. It was 8.5. But Mississippi State to cover plus 9.5 there. Shep is he's following me with the Mississippi State there at plus 9.5. But he's also got Houston money line minus 110. Houston They play at UCF, and then FSU plays Clemson. They play Clemson. So that's a war room. A lot of the war room's kind of a subject to change. We're going to play around with it, see what we like and see what we don't like with it. But it's definitely a 1v1 versus me and Shep. Let's go into our updated Heisman race here. We still got Ty Simpson at 1, and we got Fernando Mendoza at 2. We've got Julian Sane bumped up all the way to 3, and then we got Marcel Reed at 4. That's what we got right now. We'll see what happens after this week, but I think that's fair. I think if you looked at what Ty Simpson has done production wise against the competition, I think he's deserving of that first spot. But make no mistake, Fernando Mendoza and Julian Sain and Marcel Reed, they're right there. I mean, if you put any of those guys at number 1, I wouldn't argue with you. I wouldn't argue with it. And sure, if you want to call me biased, that's fine because I am a Bama fan, but it's okay. We'll go over the college football playoff rankings here. You got Ohio State at 1, no argument at all. You got Indiana at 2, Texas A&M at 3, and then Bama at 4. I think that's a good top 4. If you were to put BYU in the top 4 and bumped Bama out, I wouldn't argue you because BYU is undefeated and we're at week 11 now. And you're an undefeated team. You're a good football team, you know. But Bama 4 there. You got Georgia at 5, Ole Miss 6, BYU's at 7. You got Texas Tech at 9. Nope. Texas Tech at 8, Oregon at 9, and then Notre Dame at 10. I'm going to take a water break. It's not really water in this. It's not. It's pre and probiotics. Yeah, check out that Alabama A there. It's pretty sick, ain't it? You got pre and probiotics in that, and you also got it's called a liquid IV, but they do the whole marketing thing. They infuse it with 100 grams of caffeine, and it's pineapple flavored. So that's what's in the bottle there. But back to the rankings here. Notre Dame's at 10. You got Texas at 11. And then you got Oklahoma at 12. Utah is at 13th. Virginia at 14th. Louisville at 15th. Vandy's down to 16th. Georgia Tech flew all the way down to 17th. Holy cow. Miami's at 18th. You got USC at 19. Iowa's at 20. Michigan's at 21. Missouri 22. Washington 23. Pitt 24. And Tennessee at 25. For the first rankings, there's definitely some controversy there. I don't know why Tennessee's even in there. You also don't even have a group of 5 team ranked, and if were the playoffs to start today, a group of 5 team it'd be Memphis. They'd be in the 12th spot, and they're not even ranked in the rankings. So that's a little weird there. Texas flying all the way up to 11 there. Let's see, they beat Vanderbilt, lost to Ohio State, lost to Florida, and beat Oklahoma there. My thing about Texas is I think they're going to lose to Georgia, but they have Texas A&M at home. So if they lose to Georgia, that'd be their 3rd loss. But at the end of the year, if they beat Texas A&M, that's a top 3 win. Does a 9-3 Texas, if they beat Texas A&M, do they get into the playoffs? I don't know. Don't know. I could see it happening, though. But I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. And then complete chaos with the ACC with you got Virginia, Louisville, Georgia Tech. I don't even know what's going to happen there. It's too early to, predict all this stuff. You still got a lot of variables, still left here. If the playoffs started today, they would have that top 4 of Ohio State, Indiana, Bama, Texas A&M. Your 5-12 matchup is Georgia and Memphis. Your 6-11 is Ole Miss and Virginia, and then your 8-9 is Texas Tech, Oregon. Your 7-10 is BYU, Notre Dame. That would, that'd be a fun matchup. That's not a prediction or anything. That's if the playoffs happen today, that's what the matchups would be. You got some interesting matchups there. Does it shape out like that? I don't think so. Could it? Totally could. You never know. Close out of this. Do we want to go over anything else? So new segment that we're going to be starting up, and credit to Shep with coming up with this, a Q&A segment. So we need you guys for this segment. That's the thing, though. this segment only goes as far as you guys do here. So DM us on any of our social accounts. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, or you could comment under the video on YouTube a question. We read all of it. Me and Shep are both looking at all of it. So, and if you guys do DM us, kind of start off by Q&A just so we can kind of organize it all. Or if you guys comment, start it off with a Q&A there just so we know and see it better. But I think that's all we got here. Please like the video, guys. Sub to the channel. Okay. Please sub to the channel. It's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything, and it doesn't sign you up for anything. It just helps me and Shep out. Kind of gets us more momentum rolling forward here. Follow the Spotify if you're a podcast listener. We're on there. Follow that, like it. Share YouTube, share Spotify, share all the socials. Enjoy the rest of your guys' week. And we'll see you Sunday. Okay? Be smart, be safe. Have a good one.